Israel has attacked Iran. Was America involved? Is the UK involved? Was it a decisive attack and victory for Israel? Is Iran too weak to respond? Is it the start of World War III, or at the very least a war in the region? Let's unpack some of that stuff right now. Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the obvious. Israel has indeed attacked Iran, and it has killed, according to Al Jazeera, 70 people in Iran, injuring 320. Now, the thing that is very significant is the fact that Israel has attacked key sites and key figures. So 6 senior Iranian officials have been killed in very precise attacks. Of them is the most senior military officer, the head of the Revolutionary Guard, and nuclear scientists, because Israel has an issue with Iran's nuclear program. It does not want Iran to go nuclear because it says that it is a threat to their sovereignty. However, it is also emerging that Israel's operation was not as cut and dry as the Western media is making it seem out to be. Civilians were also attacked. Infrastructure, for example, you could see a taxi.
Many civilians. The images that you see don't need confirmation, do they? These, you can see that's a taxi, right? Those are civilians.
So like I mentioned, Iran's nuclear program is something that Israel has been banging on for the last 30 odd years. Yeah, if you look at these old newspaper clippings, they're constantly, it's like the boy that cried wolf. They've nearly developed it. They got it. They must be stopped. And Israel is the annoying voice in the ear of the US, and it has constantly been trying to get some sort of war started. Western media are using words like Israel did a preemptive strike. Now, if you understand language and definitions, this is so pathetic. And that's why people are correcting CNN headlines, BBC headlines from preemptive. They're saying unprovoked acts of terrorism, because it is illegal in international law to do preemptive strikes like this. Now, what do countries that talk about human rights and, peace and, all this sort of stuff, what have they said? It's actually laughable. There's a look at this tweet of Germany. This is when Iran hasn't even retaliated. They're saying, yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Against what? Iran hasn't done anything yet. That came just before. It's so pathetic. Yeah, they just used to putting out this drivel. Germany has become a shell of its former self, especially when it comes to its voice concerning the oppression of the Palestinians. It has unequivocally backed Israel. They've even managed to get Macron back on side as well. So I was mentioning the nuclear capabilities of Iran. This is something that Israel keeps harping on about. And if we look at Israel's situation, some say they've got 90 warheads already. Nuclear, even though they don't disclose it. However, they haven't signed any treaty. They don't allow the International Atomic Energy Agency to come and inspect it. But they, alongside the US, which is the only country to have dropped a nuclear warhead on Japan, who are Israel and America to dictate anything. But yet this is the world that we are living in. Iran, on the other hand, has signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, i.e. the agreement that we are not going to develop nuclear weapons. And it has allowed the International Atomic Energy Agency to come and inspect it. 2018, it was the US that walked away from the Iran nuclear deal, which thereafter Iran thought, what's the point? We might as well carry on doing what we're doing. But this shows that no matter how much you bend over backwards, it's just not gonna be enough. I hope the Arab countries are watching what's unfolding and taking notes. Once Iran goes down, then Israel will run rampant in the Middle East, and we all know their plans of greater Israel and the third temple under Aqsa. They have no interest whatsoever in peace. Just search up something called the Samson option. Is Israel's strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons. I thought they didn't have nuclear weapons. Why have they got an option that talks of nuclear weapons? Anyway, after the United States left that agreement, they then started sanctioning Iran once again. For those of you that don't know what sanctioning is just economic bullying. It bullies the whole country. It's collective punishment. That's what that is. Where you stop trade with that country, you freeze their assets, amongst other things. Now, why now? Yeah, why now? Because America has been trying to get a deal done on Israel's behalf with Iran. But Iran has not been playing ball. That's why if you see on Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media platform, this guy has been gloating by saying, we told you to take the deal. You didn't take the deal. For those people saying, yeah, America's not involved. Donald Trump's here for peace. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Biden. This guy is here for peace. This guy has been a bigger stooge of Israel than many of his predecessors, it seems. Right, so I was mentioning why now. Why now? Because Iran regionally is quite weak. Iran is affiliated with certain organizations within the region, like Hezbollah. Hezbollah has lost its leader. It's also affiliated with the Houthis, the Yemeni Houthis. They are being bombed. But Syria, the Assad regime, was very close with Iran, but Assad is gone. Bearing that in mind, we know a few months ago, Israel attacked Iran. It weakened it in certain strategic places such that they claimed that Iran had not recovered. So now was the best time, as Iran was recovering, as it was regionally weak, and America was supposed to meet up with Iran this Sunday to discuss more terms. So they're hoping that this would force them to agree when they are being embarrassed and shamed, whatever the case may be. But a lot of experts are saying, look, Iran is going to continue with this nuclear program, especially now, you know what I mean? But that's not the issue. The issue here is regime change. They want to embarrass Iran so much that the Iranians from within rise up and there is a regime change, and that's where the US and Israel get to come in through that chink of the armor. Now, again, that being said, how was such a devastating attack on Iran allowed to take place? Well, one was I was talking about their weakness in the region. Number two was infiltration by Mossad. Inside Israel's Operation Rising Lion, how Mossad Spec Ops smuggled weapons into Iran and set up secret drone factory near the capital in years-long mission before commandos unleashed Trojan horse attack. So this is another thing that a lot of experts were saying, that because there's so much destabilization from within and infiltration from within, Iran will not react. It will not attack like they are saying. And this would mean that they are significantly weakened and the chance of regime change increases. However, because of the level of attack that was levied on Iran, for them to be taken seriously, it is very important, because they've been saying on their media, all of them are hyping a response. And as the video comes to you guys, the third wave of attacks of Iran have and are in motion. Now, this proves a lot of people wrong that were saying that Iran can't react, it's too weak, it's been infiltrated. So, very good for Iran that they are indeed attacking, because this will give them some credibility. Had they not attacked, then, and they go down, this increases Israeli influence over the Middle East. And imagine you taking the strongest guy there, beating the crap out of them and looking around and going, who's next? And we already know the state of the rulers of the other countries in our areas. So if we actually describe Israel's actions in very layman's terms, I think this guy did a good job. He goes, just threw a rock through my neighbor's window. Please pray for me as I defend myself from their aggression. Ladies and gentlemen, as Netanyahu runs away to Greece, which raises questions. Why are Greece giving shelter to a felon? Are they involved in this conflict as well? Of course they are. All of these guys are. You know what I mean? On the outside, they'll say certain things just to play the game. But it will be very interesting to see how this unfolds. And you can see here Iran has attacked Tel Aviv, but they are promising more severe attacks. And frankly, for the survival of the current regime, they absolutely have to. Stay locked and loaded, and let's see how this unfolds. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.